Hello and welcome to Music Box. My name is Malik Gale, and each and every single month I sit down and talk to awesome musicians about their life, work, and hobbies while we don't dual jam. I feel like I have to throw that in there because of what you know from the main show. But speaking of the main show, I have an awesome, lovely guest co-host in, you know him, you love him. He's one of the two co-hosts of the main show, Creative Block. We have Gene.
I'm back.
He's back, baby.
I'm back. I'm here. I'm a guest host. But the show is not about me. It is about our friend here.
This is true. And this week on the podcast, we have someone absolutely amazing, the king of ska, the one, the only, Jeff Rosenstock. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing nice. I had a day off for the first time in a while. I just finished up season 4 of Craig like 2 days ago. So I'm like stoked.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. Listen, you can't beat a day off and just relaxing. So what did you do with your lovely day off today?
I went and had breakfast with my wife and our friend Iona and had coffee. And then I went and got a second caffeinated beverage and saw my sister. And then I practiced guitar because I got shit coming up.
That sounds like such a nice day, though.
That is really a nice day.
It was a pretty nice day. I was like, I was
so
sitting
nice.
outside, just like, wow, is this what fucking people do when they're not
Yes.
like, like,
I was in meetings all day,
grinding
so
for
like,
hours?
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. It's nice to get out.
No, for sure. I mean, I had a day off and I was on a 6-hour bus ride from Cape Cod. So it gave me a lot of time to just relax. And so preparing for the interview, I sat down. I just listened to No Dream over and over and over again. And I have to say, like, I love the record. And it's just still a very unique experience to have. And when you're driving and you're staring out the window and you are just listening to that record, I mean, I can't fully describe what I had on that bus.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't that bad. I mean,
No.
I feel like the album fits the vibe of just being on a bus and listening and just staring out the window. It just fits in so well.
Oh, cool. Hell yeah. A lot of that, I feel like a lot of that record was like written on buses and trains. Full circle. We did it. Also, you said you came from Cape Cod and I thought you were in California. And I was like,
Oh, no. That would be horrible.
what the? Huh?
No, I'm in New York City, so
Okay,
we're all
cool.
good. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And also, I saw that you lived in New York City for a little while.
Yeah.
And the one thing I wanted to talk about was I remember doing research and seeing you did a tour in all 5 boroughs. And I forgot the name of it, but it just was such a trippy thing. And I feel like it's always an idea I've had if I ever did a band to be like, hey, let's do every single borough and let's hit all of them. How was that experience of doing the show, doing that
It
date?
was so like it was what you're saying, like for like my whole life, like playing music, I was like, oh man, it would be so sick to do like all 5 boroughs in one day. It just seemed like it'd be a fun thing to do. So to like see that come to do it, to like, okay, all the shows are booked and then just do it was like, it was great. It was a dream come true. It's something I've always wanted to do. That said, it was intense. It was like we woke up so early in the morning. The first show, our drummer almost didn't make it to the ferry because we did public transportation for the whole thing because we didn't want to cheat. And he almost didn't make it to the ferry. He like stepped on this ferry to Staten Island like for our 8 a.m. show or whatever it was in Staten Island. Like a minute before it left, we were just like, damn, it was crazy. And like, I don't know, by the time we were in the Bronx, it was like it felt like it was a very a 3-mile walk from the train to Fordham. I feel like it was probably not that long, but we were just like holding all of our shit and just like, it was like our 4th show. We're just like, okay.
Oh, I don't know how you had the energy to do that. That's incredible.
It was insane. It was funny. I was like I sweat so much when we play, and I just like had to bring a change of clothes at every show and stuff. It's just like, because I didn't want, this is a winter, I like not going out like sweaty clothes. But it was awesome. It was so much fun. All the shows were so fun. And then like we were done at like when we were back in Brooklyn, back at our place at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever it was, we were not tired. We were just like so
Interesting.
fucking amped. We were just like,
Adrenaline,
yeah, because you just played 5 shows. Like when you're done playing, when
That's
I'm done playing
insane.
one show, I'm still just kind of like buzzing, you know. And like after doing 5 shows a day, we were drinking at whatever bar like until it like long after it closed. We were just like, oh shit, it's like 4:30. It's like
Damn.
5 a.m. We're still awake.
Yeah.
How I'm
Interesting.
so tired, but I'm still so wide awake. It was really fun.
Yeah, sometimes you get those nights.
Yeah, there's those nights where it's just like you can't turn it off, you can't shut it down. And I mean, after doing all of those shows, you know what? I feel like you just have to turn your entire life into a show. Every single day of your life is now
Yeah, the rest of my life is a set.
That's it. Were there people following you from show to show?
Yeah, there were. It was
Very
cool.
cool.
It was cool seeing some of the same people at like all 5 shows, and it was like, hell yeah, it's cool. I don't know. So I lived in New York for a long ass time, and I don't know. It was just always just like a dream. Like, would it be cool to like just go to all 5 boroughs in one day? You know? So I don't know if other fellow New Yorkers were like, okay, this is like a good excuse to like do something dumb. You know?
Yeah.
Oh no, for sure. Like it's just so much fun to find something to do every single
What are you doing tomorrow?
Okay, so this one's a little ridiculous. So there's the Minions. I'm going to a Minions disco event that I got a press pass for, and I don't know how to skate. So we're going to see how it goes.
That sounds fun.
It's exciting.
I miss
It's
New
weird,
York.
but it's fun. You can always find something to do. Something.
Yeah.
And you can find those things.
And you can, and it's always around. It's always there for
It's
you.
always around. Yeah.
What do you miss most about the city?
I would say there's two things are kind of tied. One is that it's just such a good walk-in city. You just, you don't need a car. You just walk everywhere. And like, if you're just bored at night, you can leave your apartment at like, depending on where you live. But I think even no matter where you live, like you can leave pretty late at night and just walk around. You your neighborhood, and you just like fucking just chill out and like, walk around. I miss that. I feel like it takes like 5 or 10 minutes to get to anywhere that's open. And also nothing's ever open here. Like everything closes at like can't get food after like 9 p.m.
LA
That's
is
crazy to
not
me. And
a
I
walking city.
work so late, and I just like by the time I'm done, it's just like, oh yeah, everything's closed now. It's just like, oh man.
It's a lot of In and Out. A lot of late nights eating at In and Out.
A lot of Del Taco, a lot of In and Out.
Yep.
So I miss those things. I miss the city. I mean, I am like constantly emanating New York energy, I feel like. But obviously California is very, very, very nice. I don't know. When I lived in New York, it's hard to not imagine like what's it like on the West Coast where it's like never snowy and sleety and shitty, and like you have space and you're not like in a closet all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll meet up someday and we'll go deep into the New York abyss.
That sounds awful. That sounds like you're gonna walk out with STDs and just like,
hey, what you heard
an
about
addiction.
New York? What the hell?
An addiction to something. I'm just saying, when it's an abyss, that's rough. An abyss does not have a positive connotation. That's rough.
I think abysses have been maybe painted wrong.
Have been caught, yeah.
Abysses?
Have a
Is
bad
that
rap.
right? Abyssi?
Abyssi. I don't know. I think we should decide that right now. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So for sure, I want to shift the gears a little bit, and I want to talk a little bit about Craig of the Creek. So I know on top of you releasing your solo material, you are also the composer of Craig of the Creek. I wanted to ask, was there anything that you learn from your work at Craig of the Creek that influences how you write your solo material? Or are there any things that you take from that and put in your solo
So that's an
material?
interesting way to put it, because I think the way that it's like when I'm making something solo is that I am like, I want to make a piece of music, so to speak, or like, something in my head, like I hear a melody in my head or I get an idea and I'm just like, oh, and I kind of chase it and try and feel it out and like make something and then, kind of ruminate on it sometimes for years and just like try and think through what it should be, what it can be, or just banging it out real fast. But that it usually starts with like, I'm not the kind of writer in that like songwriter who like sits down and goes like, okay, it's time to get my songwriting work done. I know a lot of people who are like that and they write good songs. It's just not the way I do it. So with Craig, it's like it doesn't matter if like I'm feeling inspired that day. It's like, no, you gotta get your work done and you gotta write some music today. Let's go. But that's like there, which seems almost like it could lend itself to being like almost what's the word I'm looking for? It seems like it can lend itself to being kind of autopilot-y, you know?
Right.
But it's not that. There's something really like freeing and cool about being like, my job here is not to come up with something from scratch, like emotionally. My job here isn't to like, you know, plumb the depths of like what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking and try and think of a new way to say it, or anything. It's like, I'm watching this fucking kick-ass funny cartoon. It looks awesome. It has really great moments where you are feeling a lot of things, and my job is to just like go along with it and try and match it and try and like bring it in for a landing, I guess. So it's just kind of like, it's cool. It's like it's kind of unhinged. It's really improvisational. It's just like kind of the days that I'm like literally writing the music for it, it's just like it's just like, you know, like 8 to 10 hours of just like chaos. It's just like going and just trying to make it kick ass and just trying to make it like as good as like what I'm seeing. And then like when it's done, it's done. And I really don't have any,
you have to move
I don't
on.
have any like reference point of like whether anybody hears it or whether it affects anybody in any way, the way it is with like my own music, where like there is a connection between like me and the audience or me and the listener or like whatever. This is just kind of like, it's part of this whole big thing. So it's really different in a lot of ways, and they're both fun for different reasons.
Yeah. You mess with a lot of genres for the show. Like, do you feel like that work has influenced your own like original songwriting?
I think Craig has nudged my songwriting a little bit, but not really in that way. It's kind of like, I think right when I got into the show, the record that we had put out then, which was called Post, it had a lot of ambient kind of stuff to it. It's maybe like one of the slower records I put out. It's not like a slow record by any means, but it's kind of like, you know, a little bit, it was a little bit slower than some of the stuff before it. And then starting working on Craig, I think I was just getting all this kid energy from like the performances of the cast on Craig, all this like punk energy from talking to Ben, the creator, all the time, and just like looking at like all this like energetic animation all the time, and just like, I think it kind of nudged me like towards like punker shit in a way, where it was like, where it like brought me back to like writing kind of faster music and like embracing some of the stuff that I really liked when I was a kid. That maybe I think if you are in my position, I guess, as like a band person or a songwriter or whatever,
band person,
and you've made like 10 or 15 records, I think at a certain point you're encouraged, or you feel maybe like you're supposed to like do some mature shit or like move on from like what you were doing. And I don't know if it like affected it or didn't, but I think like a part of me thinks that like Craig kind of brought me back to like, you know, where I think I should be, which is like not really like trying to move on from that, but like have it become a part of everything in the future. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
No, for sure. And I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, I feel like it's so hard to not feel constantly one-upped. And like, you have to do more, you have to do better when you're releasing music. I mean, it's got to be difficult still to break out of that, especially for your solo material, and just say, hey, and not feel pressure to like one-up every single thing.
It's hard to not do that though when you're making a record, because then you're like, well, what's the point of making a record if it doesn't, like, I don't know. That's a totally toxic way to think about it. But it's like, what is the point of making your record if it doesn't make your last record fucking obsolete, and everybody's not like, all right, man, I don't need that one anymore. It's this new one. You know what I mean?
Do you like approach each new album with like thematic core or any kind of like some kind of cohesiveness, or is it just sort of like, this is the next album and whatever songs I write are going to end up on this album?
Sometimes I do. Like with Worry, I did. I knew that like what I wanted to write was a record about weather, which it isn't necessarily this in the end. But like I knew I wanted to go in writing a record about whether or not it is possible for love and capitalism to exist at the same time.
Right.
And that really guided that record a lot. But also, I don't know if all records are just like, at least the ones I make are just like a product of like the time that it's existing is. And if like the concept or the themes or whatever, like it just already, it's baked in because but yeah. Okay. So, and like, I guess the time frame kind of like makes it conceptual in a way. Like even talking about Worry, like I was probably thinking about writing something like that because at the time I got married, I was getting ready to get married, and also I lived in an apartment where the 2 apartments below me had vacated and the storefront below all those apartments vacated, and I was like, well, I've seen this before and I know what's happening. I'm about to get kicked out of my fucking apartment. And like not really knowing what to do and just kind of like seeing it happen all around. And like it just, so, you know, I think just what I'm saying is like how you're existing just kind of like shapes it. I don't really go in.
Absolutely.
And like once songs start, and I think like I'm always kind of writing songs and then like the songs just kind of find each other and make a record, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry.
for sure.
I'm giving long answers. I'm sorry.
I'm also in a band. I've only written 1 album that's coming out soon, but like it's hard for it not to have some kind of connecting tissue because it is like a headspace, like you said, and things just kind of start to come together. And like, I don't know if this happened to you, but like, you know, one song starts informing another. And like I mentioned to you before we started the show that I'm a huge fan of Goodbye Cool World, and like
Thanks.
That album feels like it has a concept. Like maybe it was loose, but it feels like there is a mental journey. Like, it's like there is a mental health journey going through it.
Yeah, I was living in Queens. I was living in Forest Hills.
Oh, okay.
It was weird to be living in Forest Hills. So
There's a lot.
There was so much of just like, yeah, I don't know. Living in Forest Hills was that record. Just like
interesting.
The long train rides that you'd have to take, the begging you, the pleading you'd have to do to get anybody to like come out and see you, and just like also living in this, I don't know. They all have something to them. I feel like for so long it was just like, what apartment did I get kicked out of and what apartment do I live in now? And that was the record, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah. It's fun when you can listen to stuff you've done and you remember exactly where your head was at. It's this time machine back to like, oh yeah, I know exactly what feeling I was and I think the listener has the same thing, right? Because how many songs do we all have that it's like you listen to it and you're like, oh man, I remember exactly what I was feeling. It's even more potent when it's your own.
I mean, and that's my shit, and like that's what I love. That's what I love about music. I love the nostalgia. I love like when it brings me back. You know what I mean? Like I want it to transport me to a time, place, even if it's not a good place. Like, because then it's like, I don't know. It's just like cosmic, emotionally resonant shit, and it's tight. It's the best, and it doesn't matter what kind of music it is. Just as long as it's good, it can do that. You know?
Absolutely. 100%. That's the thing. Like it's so. I've had so many moments where I've made playlists more often of just like journals of like different events in my life to really just bookmark those, and it's just so amazing that music can do that and be able to give that ability.
Yeah.
I want to just go back a little bit and talk about like when you're formulating an album. I mean, it's the age of question. Like, when do you know you're finished? It's so much to go and like explore the influences, explore like the emotions you're feeling at that time. But when do you say, okay, I've explored enough, I'm putting a final chapter here and closing the book?
I don't know. I mean, I can't think of, I'm going through in my head. I don't know too many records that I've written where like the last song is the last song that I've written for it. So it never necessarily, it's just like, when does it feel full? You know, I listen, I don't know. I think it depends on every record. And then also I don't know, like with No Dream, I thought I was done with it, and then I sequenced it out, the demos, and I was like, oh shit, one side is super long and one side isn't as long. And my friends who I'm in another band with, the Mikey Erg band, were like, yeah, you just got to write another song. Sucks to be you. And I was like, okay. And like I wrote a song that ended up being like one of my favorite songs of the record. And
oh, that's great.
And then the record was done. I was like, oh, and now it makes sense. You know, I think that there's just like, sometimes there just is, like for me, when I'm doing it, I'm making demos throughout, I'm making sequences throughout, and I'm like trying to chase like the vibe the whole time. Which means like if I've got like 6 songs and I feel like it's lagging or it's slow or whatever, I know that like, okay, well, are there any like fast songs that you cast aside? Or if like a fast song kind of pops into my head, I'll be like, okay, like maybe this one will fit in here, like try and chase it, you know? And then at some point it's like, oh, this whole thing is a feeling. And then you're like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's go record this record.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, like very abstractly and weird. I don't know.
I mean, there's no correct way, I feel like, to do an album and create experience. It's like whatever is best for you and making sure that you feel fulfilled with it at the end of the day. And you're like, okay, this is right. So yeah, it can't feel like you're like, hey,
yeah,
like everyone must do that exact same thing.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people, because there's also bands that go into the studio and have like no songs, and they're like, let's make a record the next couple of weeks.
I don't
and I'm just like, cool. I can't do that.
I have no fucking clue. That feels
terrifying
like so much
and expensive.
Pressure. Yeah. I would not want to do that.
Like, so I want to touch on that. I mean, like, how many, like, what ideas are you kind of like playing around with when you walk in? Because I know you don't want to walk in with nothing, but do you walk in with like some shells of ideas, or do you walk in with fully formed songs? Like, what stage are we coming into saying, hey, let's, like, now we're getting a little bit more serious about making something?
So the way it's worked with the solo band is that I guess this is pretty much the way it worked upon the music industry too. Like the record's written and demoed by the time we all go in. I send everybody isolated tracks, and I'm like, here's the songs. Hey band, here's the songs. Here's how it goes. And they're like, hey, we like them. I'm like, oh, thank God. And then we spend like 5 days practicing, and we just like hammer it out. And we see like, okay, these are the songs, but how do we play the songs and like whatever. And then we get tight, and then we move all of the same shit that we had into a studio, and we set up mics and we just play it live. And then I do like whatever keyboard overdubs or any overdubs do afterwards. But like, yeah, we go into the practice knowing what the plan is. We spend like 5 days of practice just like hammering it in, so it feels like muscle memory, so it feels like being on tour. And then when we go in, we're super prepared when we go in. I think a lot of that has to do with Jack Shirley, who engineered We Cool and engineered all of our records. But like the first time we did it that way, and we're just like, wow, this happened so fast, because it was only like 5 days that we took to make that record. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, you just did what you did at practice, but you did it again. So it's like a no pressure thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. Is it getting loud?
You're all good.
Can you hear
that?
No. Okay, cool.
No worries.
Great. Let me know.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
You're good.
So also, I'm going to apologize like 20 times in this podcast. That's got nothing to do with you. I just can't stop. Won't stop apologizing.
I have multiple people like, Malik, look at me. Malik, it's like, stop apologizing.
You are not a burden.
And the worst part, I don't know if it's the same way for you. The immediate reaction is, I am sorry for apologizing.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you do have to say to a person like, you're not upsetting me, and you're not going to upset me. Yeah.
You're both just sweeties, and that's good.
Yep.
That's a good thing.
Hey, you too, Gene.
The Sweetie Club.
Yeah, you don't know
He's
me.
a
I can
demon.
be a dick.
So yeah, this could be your podcast persona. I saw that with Spike's collar.
Yeah, I have a whole. This is my trick is having different facets of my life where I can hide. You know, like that's the thing with me and my band, and we can make this into a question. It's like
we can make this into a question.
We can make this into a question. Let's spin it. Well, it brings up an interesting thing, because like I think that for me, like being the frontman in my band, like for me, it's a chance to be somebody that I'm not. It's a chance to be a different version of myself. I'm a little pricklier. I'm a little, bit more of an asshole on stage. Like, but people love it because that's what they've come to see. Do you feel like you have that kind of mask or like persona that you're embodying? Because it feels very open. It feels like it's Jeff. It feels like your music is always you.
Yeah.
But like, is there that still?
No, there was definitely when I was younger. I don't know. I think I am a person who has a lot of like rage issues that I never quite want to get out because rage is gross. And like, I think when I was younger, in my first band, ASOB, I was very deliberately like, our music was deliberately abrasive, deliberately super fast. And I was pretty just like, I can't think, aggressive is the wrong word, but I was like, I was like I was like leaning into being a bit of an asshole, being a bit of a jokester asshole, but also like doing dumb shit like, climbing on people's tables while we were playing and drinking their beers and being like, and I think as time has gone on, I've just really, I don't know, slowly, like there was a point in Bomb the music industry, it was all really pure, but we were all really, we were all drinking a lot all the time while we were playing. And so there was that just like fearless energy of just like, which I don't know. I'm not trying to say you have to like do drugs or drink to like be in a band, but we were definitely like a band. They're like, all right, we're going to play this house show. I have like 3 40s. We're going to drink 2 beforehand. I'm going to drink 1 during the set. It's going to be fucking fun. And at some point in Bomb, around vacation, I was just like, I want to do something crazy. I'm a very anxious person, and I'm going to stop drinking before we play, and I want to feel terrible when we play, and I'm going to lean into that. And I think slowly it like took me to where I'm at now, where like I really just feel like I am just there with my friends playing music. There's no like, there's nothing. There isn't like any say mask I'm putting on. Maybe that was happening with ASOB where I was definitely more of an asshole than I would have been in regular life while we were playing.
You're an arrogant son of a bitch.
Exactly. It's in the fucking name. Yeah. Where I felt fearless, doing that. And then with, Bomb, where a lot of the time, is kind of like liquid courage, as they say. To like be able to get through and just do it. Whereas now it's just like, okay, I just have to like find how I can do this and feel good. I mean, like, I don't know. There's some sort of bullshit that I'm putting on where I'm like, what's up, everybody? How you fucking doing? Or something like that, like if you're playing to a bunch of people, like, I don't know how to address a crowd as a normal human. Like, that's not something people do. But like that's but none of it ever comes from a place like I'm putting on a character or anything like that. I don't know. I think maybe that's just like, maybe if you're from Long Island, just like your character is just already so fucking strong. Like I think the whole Northeast in general is just like, you don't really need to any just like side that you dip into. Like that's enough. There's enough happening there that you don't need to put anything
that's
on.
True.
I don't know.
I mean, you're right, because I mean, inherently, like fundamentally, there is something very strange about walking up to a big group of people that have come to see you and be like, "Hi," like I will play notes and you will love these things I do, and like that's a lot to like take in. So like,
it's an unnatural thing to do. What is that? It's a real goof. I never, especially like as the shows we play get bigger, I don't know what to fucking say to this many people. I'm always just like, hey, all right.
What's the biggest crowd you've played?
I don't know. We played. There's festivals we've played that has had like several thousand people at it.
Okay.
So those would be the big ones. I don't remember what those numbers are.
Sure.
Big though, and we played 2 shows as this band, one in Toronto that was 1,400 people and one in London that was 1,400 people. And the one we played in London that was 1,400 people, 3 of our band had gotten COVID at that point. So they were not on the tour. So it was just me running around London trying to find acoustic guitar that day.
Oh,
And then the
man.
drummer, and then like a bunch of people from the support band All Away Lou and the support band Fresh kind of jumping in some songs at the end. So like the big ones have been the weird ones.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I was about to. This is a perfect segue because I was about to start talking about touring. Like, especially, I don't love this, but everyone says post-pandemic. But I mean, touring in a world where
it's hard to not say it, even though it's still the pandemic. It's hard to not say it.
It's post-quarantine, I would say. I don't think anyone's
touring in a world where everyone said, fuck it. Like, I mean, how does that? How does that feel?
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, like you had a whole band get COVID. Like, how's that experience of going out and doing that with this new wrench in the interaction and playing?
It's less fun in a lot of ways. Like we don't. So our band's really strict about it. We don't go out to bars. We don't go out to restaurants. We don't really this last tour I guess we did, but like the first two tours we basically didn't see our friends, and it was like these are people like when like our band, we have a lot of friends scattered across the country that we've missed over the last few years that we haven't seen. And it was really hard being like, well, COVID's a thing and I don't know who fucking has it and who doesn't have it. So like we could see each other outside in the parking lot, but like aside from that, like we can't really hang before the show. There's a lot, and like I can't like really none of us can really be out in the crowd and stuff like that. I miss all those things, and especially after years of not touring, like not being able to do that, it's like, oh, that sucks. But then the flip side of it is like, oh my God, we get to play music again. Like it's the best. And it's like, it feels like, I don't want to say anything as diluted as like, oh, it feels so important to do it right now or anything like that. But like, there's a connection that I think either we missed or it feels stronger, or just like I'm just so happy to like be there with everybody every day. And it's in a way that I was not towards the end of like our touring before the pandemic. That could have been because I was burning out. That could be just because it's been years off. That could be because the people coming to these shows these days are fucking awesome. Like, I don't know, but like playing has felt really, really, really special. Like the show itself every night has felt really special in a new way, or maybe just in a forgotten way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say it's diluted at all, because I mean the biggest refrain was like, especially from music fans, was missing like that experience of going to shows, and everyone I think realized like how much like inadvertently sometimes we might take it for
People
granted.
love it.
Yeah. It's same here. You know, I go and seeing music, and especially like, I don't know, the dumb thing when you're in a band and like you're on tour with the band and you watch the same band like 20 nights in a row. Like I missed that so much. I missed like watching Oceanator and Slaughter Beach Dog on that first tour play every single night, and watching like as much of their set as I possibly could was just like, I've missed this feeling so much, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, people need it. It's healing in a lot of ways. Like, you know, it's a release, and like I think, like what Malik said, it's like everyone really missed it once it was gone.
And for the people on the podcast and can't see, Jeff is going badass mode right now and has switched on the sunglasses.
The sun's in my eyes. It's a badass. I'm like, it's too
bathed in
bright. I
light.
can't deal with it.
Bathed in fire.
Yeah.
So
we started talking about live music, so I put on my sunglasses to see
You should,
cool.
as you should. Yeah.
Got to sell those tickets.
Absolutely. I mean, so I know you're heading out on tour. I think in September. I saw a few dates. I know Pier 17's one. Riot Fest is another one, which I am going to Riot Fest. So I am so excited to see you
shit,
there.
hell yeah.
So I mean, how do you feel about this like upcoming run, and like now you have the
That upcoming run's going to be crazy. So it's with Gaslight Anthem. When does this go up? This podcast.
Going up. I have the list right here. I think it's August.
Okay. So here's what we have in line for the rest of the year. In August, we are playing the New York State Fair with TLC. Then we're playing Riot Fest. And then we're doing this tour with Gaslight Anthem, who's like a way more popular band than ours, and they haven't toured in like a decade or something. And like one of the shows is at the PNC Arts Bank Arena. And then at the beginning of next year, which for those who are listening, you don't know what the PNC Arts Bank Center, it's fucking big. It's way bigger than anywhere we've ever played. And then we're playing an arena with Joyce Manor and Pup at the end of the year. And all this stuff is like really new, like, and I say new, that's generous. And maybe the only time that's going to happen. So it's going to be fun, man. It's like we're doing something that, like, I don't know, we never expected to do. I don't know that any of us ever really had ambitions beyond just like playing music with each other at a house show. And the fact that it's like gone to like that we're playing like this, we're playing Riot Fest, which is going to be like all these like there. I don't know. It's going to be like, it's going to be fun. I'm excited for it. I hope we're good. If we're not good, well, we'll try.
Yeah, you just do the best you can.
Like, it's gonna be sick. I'm excited. I don't know anything about Chicago, so I will ask Gene for recommendations about Riot. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like you're gonna do great. Like, you are so just the energy,
Thanks.
like the earnestness. Like I know you're gonna do an amazing kill it. So like, I don't feel like you don't have to worry about that at all.
Hope so. We'll see. New York State Fair is gonna be weird. 1:00 in the afternoon at the New York State Fair. It's not announced yet. We announced it on Friday. They asked us to play. They were like, "Hey, we'll make it worth your while." We're like, "Yeah, we'll
I mean, it's so, like the fairs." I'm sorry, I'm bugging out.
Just get.
Have you ever been?
Get paid in corn dogs.
Malik,
I'm
where are you
from
from?
Brooklyn, but I lived upstate for a few years,
okay,
and like Utica, Syracuse.
Okay,
so I've
okay.
I've been to the state fair a ton, and
never been.
The first year I went, Ozzy Osbourne was doing his best name for a tour ever, the Farewell Tour Part 2.
Oh,
Part
yeah.
2.
That's great.
That is a good name for a tour. And I bet it wasn't a farewell.
I mean, I don't
tour.
think so.
I don't think so.
That's sick. Yeah, I'm excited about I'm really excited about all of it. And we just got back from a tour where we were playing just like, you know, spots in like Iowa and Kansas, and it's just like a totally different vibe. And it was also great and fun. I don't know. It's fun to be playing music with your friends, you know?
Absolutely.
It sure is.
So,
yeah.
I talked to some lovely people on Twitter and said, hey, send me some questions to ask you. And I have picked 3 of those. Are you ready to see what the internet has asked you?
I've been waiting to see what the internet has to say about anything.
So the first one we're going to go with is from lovely band, amazing hoity-toity, Jeff. What is your favorite Bionicle?
Yeah.
Okay. What's a Bionicle?
That's a response I thought I would get.
So a Bionicle basically is like these, think edgy Legos. They're like, hold on.
Should I just look up Bionicle real quick?
I'm looking it up right now, and I'm going to share my screen because we're zooming, and I do this all day. Hold on.
Oh, there's a game. Okay.
I can say mine, and it's the ice one.
So, yeah.
I like that one.
Okay. Of the ones I'm looking at here.
So yeah, you got all these edgy ones right here. These are Bionicles.
You got to do the original 6. I feel like you got to do the original 6.
Okay, show me the original 6. Can you tell me anything about like just, you know,
that's not that.
5 words or less about
Get that shit off my screen.
Oh god. Damn.
I didn't know
Shots
Gene was
fired.
hardcore about Bionicles.
That's not This is not Aria would be disappointed in you pulling up.
I can't tell anybody what my favorite Bionicle is. I just found out about Bionicles 30 seconds ago.
It's just like a gut feeling, you know, like what, like just how do you feel? Like, okay.
The only thing I've seen of Bionicles is something that you were immediately like,
get
fuck
shit
this.
Out of my
These
way.
aren't Bionicles.
These are not it. There's 6 of them.
Okay.
Each of them represents a different element. So there's like fire, ice, rock, wood, ground, plant.
I'm going for ground
and water. I think that's what they are. I'm full of shit. I actually don't know. I was a fan of Bionicle back in the day, but I was also like 9, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have no answer. I can't lie and say I have a favorite Bionicle.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's all about growth and learning here. at Music Box, so
Mhm.
I accept that
Thanks.
apology.
The headline is Jeff
Thank you.
Rosenstock
Send that to
hates
Stereo
Bionicles.
Gum.
That's the clickbait. Yeah, that's the clickbait
Yeah.
headline.
File photo of me like
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, those articles.
mid sneeze.
So next question we have
Okay.
this one I feel like
Going
you're
great
gonna
so
have a
far.
better answer to. What would your
Okay.
what's your favorite bird?
My favorite bird? Oh, it's a weird one. Is it a weird one? I haven't. Okay, I'll just go with my gut. It's a weird one. It's not. It's the pigeon.
What?
Because pigeons are garbage birds. I think that like,
Okay.
they're up in everybody's business. They're eating trash off the street. They don't give a fuck. They're not putting on any fancy nothing. I would
Why
say
did I
a pigeon.
think a pigeon?
Yes. It was New York brain.
I was gonna say, is that like a New York State
Yeah.
bird? It's got to be, right?
I mean, it isn't, but it is.
There,
It isn't.
there are
It is,
several
yeah.
times a pigeon has almost rocked my shit. Like there's
That's what they do.
Yeah, they get up at your business.
no, they'll
I
dive
like
bomb you, and I've been like this close to like getting just whammed.
And you're just like, whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I almost got. Yeah, my girlfriend got shit upon one at Santa Monica Pier, which is exactly where it should happen.
That's where the birds go to shit.
That's where the birds go to shit
On
on people
On people.
specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. They're all there.
So last Twitter question: how do you
Yeah.
feel about anxiety punk as a genre moniker for your music?
I don't know. I guess it makes sense. I've never heard that before. But sure, I'm an anxious person. I make punk songs. I think, yeah, I don't know. Seems appropriate. Maybe I don't want to think it's appropriate because I don't want to be pigeonholed into being an anxious mess for my whole life. But let's call things what they are. It's probably pretty appropriate.
If you haven't heard it, it's probably
Yeah,
not
yeah,
thrown
so
around
you're all
much.
good there.
So
So
I
Okay.
think you're good.
Okay. Was that a good answer?
Yeah, I feel like
I think it's a good
you
answer.
Okay. Is it better than the Bionicle answer or no?
Well, we're gonna come
do
back
you
to the
mean we're going
Bionicle
back to
question.
it?
Okay,
I don't-
So
No, I'm
like,
just kidding.
you're gonna. How many months do I have to prepare to answer that question? And then we'll just tack it on the end. I'll go like red one.
We're gonna do part 2, and you're gonna have to get the Bionicle comics.
Okay.
There's the Lego Bionicle comics.
Oh God. Okay. I thought I
There
just had to
is-
play these games.
There's a Flash game. There's a
Okay.
Flash game.
Okay.
It's probably not even on the
Definitely
internet
not.
anymore because Flash is
Okay.
dead. There is.
They killed
yeah,
Flash?
is dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's fucked up.
2 years ago.
But like you can't like play a Flash game anymore.
I think there's like some preserved
It's
areas, but
There's
You have
there's
to, like, do a whole
ways
thing?
to do it. Yeah.
Like trying to play a game on your computer if you have a Mac and you're
Yeah.
like opening like PC fake stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like emulate it. You can emulate Flash games, but browsers don't support it. It's like a clog on memory and all kinds of. I don't know. It's a shame because there's a lot of really good stuff out there from back in the day. So it's just all kind of dead.
The headphone jack,
dead.
Flash. Where does it
and
end?
now that we have sufficiently gotten you sad, this next question
Yes.
is: when you are working on something and you are social is about creative block. When you're working on something and you're just not feeling it and you're stuck, what do you do to break through creative block?
With my own music, I don't really have a good answer for it. I just try and always be writing, and I try to not let it stress myself out if I'm not writing anything that I think is good, and if I'm not writing anything that and if I don't have like new songs, I try to just not get stressed out about that and like record my little bits here and there into my phone when I think of something and just like, trust that like it'll come together or it won't. And honestly, if it doesn't come together at this point, I'm like, that's okay. I feel lucky that any songs have come to me, So I try to just not stress out about it with that. With Craig the Creek, I have that luxury. So it's usually just like it could get stressful as fuck. And it's just like you're just making something bad over and over and over again, like taking the bad thing and replacing it with a different bad thing that doesn't work. And it could get really stressful because it has to get done. Like there's there's a deadline, and like it's not just me, it's a lot of like everybody has worked on this show, you know. And so I kind of start when that started to become a problem, and I was like, oh shit, if I can't like think of something good, I'm gonna miss my deadlines here. That'll be bad. I'll get fired. I don't want to get fired. I like stopped really caring. So the way I like make Craig of the Creek music is there's an episode, it's 11 minutes. One day I will do the first half of the episode. I will write and record everything for the first half of the episode. The second day, I'll write and record everything for the second half of the episode. The third day, I will mix it. I will edit it. I'll make it sound good. And that very quickly became like, that's the day where I fix it and I make it good. And if it sucks on day one and it sucks on day two, don't like beat your head against a wall. Just like lay down the thing that sucks and it's fine. Like be okay that you don't like it and move on and just keep going. Because especially the way that Craig moves, it's like the tone just changes a lot throughout the episode and very much from episode to episode. So if like something's not working, it's like just move on and power through it. And then on that third day, you know, sometimes I just have to spend a couple of hours like really trying to figure out like what am I trying to do here and what would sound good. But a lot of the times it's not really like as bad as I thought it was on that first pass. And there's like plenty of usable stuff. And it's just like, it's so easy to get in your head when you're like, I don't know, especially on Craig, if it's just like, there's this thing, I don't think it's very good, and I'm playing this guitar part, and I'm not that good at the guitar, and I've played it 50 fucking times, and I still haven't gotten it right, and it sucks anyway, and like, what am I doing? Why do I have this job? Why did they hire me? I can't play the guitar or write the music. So I think like when that's happening, the best thing to do is just like finish up something, make your shitty guitar music and move on. And then, you know, tomorrow approach it with like a fresh ear and like try and not be a dipshit and like acknowledge that there's something there and like kind of move on from there, you know?
Absolutely.
I think it's great advice. I think that we talk about that a lot on the show that I host too, talking to artists. It's the same thing. It's just like you have to just walk away from things from time to time. And because we all get caught in that feedback loop, right? And like you're too close to it or whatever, and it's like we've joked about it before, even like with video games, where it's like you're stuck on a boss and you're just like, what the fuck, and then like you just have to like get away from it, and you come back and it's like first try, and it's like your brain has processed the thing that you were tripping up on, and then you come back and it's like, oh, why was this hard? Because you were tired. You were tired of the thing you were doing.
Yeah, because you just keep messing up and your brain hates you because
absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to lie, like, hearing you talk about, I'm like, yep, I do that at my regular day job, because I just do writing. I'm just like, I hate this, and then I walk away, and I'm like, I love this now.
Yeah, I read a interview with John Schwartzwelder from The Simpsons since I've started working on Craig, where he said that like he has a similar process with writing Simpsons episodes where he'll just do like a junk pass and then go back and make it good. And I was like, okay, so like a good person does this, so I guess I'm okay, you know?
Well, and if there's any piece of advice we want someone to know, if a good person does it,
it must be easy and the right thing to do.
That's fair. But Gene, do you have any more questions before I go into the final question of the night?
No, I don't. I've asked plenty.
Okay.
I've learned a lot.
Obviously, I live in New York. Obviously, I have roommates. Sometimes my recording, as you can hear, gets very loud and very intrusive. So as a trade-off, I have given my roommate the opportunity to ask the last question of the night of all my guests as a nice little peace offering.
That is nice of you.
To close us out. He gave me...
I've made so much noise in so many apartments. I've never offered a single roommate anything except for like leaving the room covered in sweat and being like, "Don't look at me."
That's a gift in and of itself.
It's
for somebody, maybe.
I had one roommate who was just like, "Sounds like you're really having a hard time in there." Like, shut up, Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron.
You're cool, but leave me alone. Aaron rocks. This has nothing to do. This ain't on Aaron.
I was about to yell "fuck Aaron," but we're not going to do that.
Yeah. Shout out to Aaron if you're listening. There's no way you are. We haven't spoken to each other.
Yeah, he definitely is.
It's been a long time.
I will find him.
Aaron, lady.
Aaron. Ew, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I got one question, and then 30 minutes later, he walked out and switched the question. So do you want to hear the question he wants to do, or do you want to hear both?
Yeah, let's do both. Your roommate seems nice.
What is your favorite Disney soundtrack was the first question.
Okay. Just like, I don't know, off the top of my head, I gotta go with Lion King. There's nothing like, it's not like I really listen. I don't really listen to Disney soundtracks. I don't know. I try to sometimes for work. I'll listen. I dove into a lot of like Ghibli stuff because I had no like frame of reference for that really before Craig of the Creek. So it's really fun. But with Disney, I haven't like really dove back in. But I loved The Lion King when I was a kid, and watching it, I still like know all those songs very, very well. It's pretty deeply ingrained in me.
Very fair. So the second question, after he said it,
live
he
action
said,
Lion
and I
King.
quote, "I'm gonna find out how this man ticks." What is your favorite color sky?
Like a favorite color sky.
That's a good question.
First of all, roommate, the sky's not one color a lot of the time. So I like, just like a multicolored sunset exploding sky. Like a, I don't know, like a pink-orange hue. Pink-orange hue. That's what I would say is my favorite kind of sky. But general sunset vibe is like, that's
Fair.
what I want.
Gene, do you want to hop in on that and get an answer?
I have a different answer.
What's yours?
I like a very nice like royal blue sky.
Oh.
How
about that?
Yeah. Like a nice deep blue. Like when it's been rainy, but it's no longer rainy, and so it's like just rich with oxygen or whatever the hell makes it blue.
Yeah.
Oh man. Especially if you get the like puffy white clouds along the skyline. Oh man.
That is
it
a
just
good color
feels
sky.
We have different answers, so I guess maybe your roommate's onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Malik?
Oh,
sky color. What is it?
I would say it has to be kind of a very like, I don't like the summer, but I love those like very bright blue, like very minimal clouds, like open sky. Just that very just. I just want a sky that just feels open and wide and just blue.
Yeah.
Cool.
Someone will take those answers.
Love it.
But like regular, so say like Gene blue or different blue?
That's what I was trying to figure out, like pin down.
I mean, you can't see. You don't know what blue I'm thinking.
I'm thinking Gene blue.
Royal. You said royal blue.
Yeah, you gave your answer.
Do I not know? Wait.
I did say royal blue. Let me check that that's the right blue. Hold on.
Okay.
I think that's the
Give me
right
the
blue.
hex code.
You're both talking about sky blue because this is sky.
Yeah, hex code. Yeah, it's about sky blue. Royal blue is darker than I think the sky can physically get, but it's along that.
I'm not gonna lie, I was half expecting pitch black as a joke from you.
No, that's easy. That's too
But
easy.
now that we've had this little moment of greatness, I think I've run out of. Honestly, that was, I'm glad we started this.
That was a meditative
Exactly.
moment.
The last question was, what was your favorite condiment? And that didn't go well.
Oh, why not?
I said mine, which was horseradish, and everyone immediately got on my ass. See?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're not doing it. No.
I don't want to judge you, but I don't know how else to finish.
Yeah, I think
My
maybe
thought.
keep that one to yourself, but I don't know.
So-
But also, I don't know. More power to you. It's fucked up. It's spicy. Okay. Not everybody likes it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
I like a grainy mustard.
Oh,
Those
are both
Okay,
terrible
okay.
condiments.
Okay,
Jeff,
now
come
that-
on.
Ice water. Only condiment. Just pour ice water on whatever
Just
you're
like
eating.
sloppy steaks.
Ice
Just cold as fuck ice water.
And
Yeah,
with
that's a
that, I'm
challenge.
gonna lay down. Jeff, Jeff, it's been amazing sitting down and talking with you. I am out all of my questions. Thank you so much. It's been a huge fan,
Thanks.
and it's been amazing.
Honestly, thank you so much for having me. This was really, really fun. I
Anytime.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
we're big fans.
Aw. Heck
For
yeah.
sure. I'm excited to see
don't know
you
what to say.
at all the shows that are coming up soon.
Yeah. I wonder if send me an email at Riot Fest and I'll be like, okay, I'll try and find you the sea of like 80,000 people or however. I don't know what Riot Fest is like. I've never been to it. So.
I have a
I'll
ton
find
of
out.
friends who.
It's pretty bumping.
Really?
Pretty bustling.
Have you been to one?
Yeah. No. Just no.
You can just tell. I mean,
You
it's called
lived in
Riot
Chicago,
Fest.
Gene.
It's
It's called
kinda
Riot
nuts.
Fest. Do you think it's going to be chill? I think it's going to be a really
Chill
chill
fest.
time.
It could
It's called
be.
Riot Fest.
During our set, we're just do slow songs. Be like, all right,
Ooh,
everybody.
that sounds good though.
You're
Give people
here
a
to-
break.
Yeah, we're here to. That's what our band is usually there for, to give people a break from the
I mean,
loud music.
The one thing I know
Yeah.
is apparently everyone loves John Stamos and hates CM Punk. That's all I know about Riot Fest. So there
Okay.
you go.
What's wrong with? I feel like CM Punk doesn't deserve the hate, but what do I know?
There you go. But yeah, I don't want to hold your time too much more. But yeah, no, again, for real, thank you so much. It's been awesome.
Thanks,
Anytime.
thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jeff.